Hello everyone, this is Women's Grandmaster Sabina Feuscher. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In the wake of the current events regarding the coronavirus, I think people are going to start, if they didn't start yet, hopefully they will very soon, to avoid person-to-person interaction. As chess coaches, this is something that we do, and teachers as well. We meet one-on-one in order to help our students get better at chess. And because I hope we're all trying to stay away from contracting the virus or giving it later to others, I decided to share my favorite website to teach online, and I hope this is going to help a lot of you to pass over this difficult situation and keep in contact with your private students with which you meet face-to-face. Do it online. The website that I love to use is called Lichess. So you go on I already have it there, www.lichess.org. I love this website because it's a free website. People are contributing to it. If you really love this platform, I highly recommend to you to donate so that they can keep adding new features and improve it. This is an absolutely free website that you can use. You don't need to pay anything if you don't want to, but of course a donation, in my opinion, would be recommended. Aside from teaching on this website, you can also enjoy playing. You can learn. They have a variety of puzzles and they have practice, and you can search for coaches in case you might need to find a coach. But mostly I'm making this video to share with the teachers and the coaches how to utilize this online platform in order to keep in touch with your students. So you saw the link to the website. You can change the settings. If you don't like this black background, you can choose a background that is light. It's totally up to you. For the purpose of the video, I think it will look a little bit better if it's dark. So this is my choice for the moment. I typically have a light background, so it's totally up to you. And you need to go right here on the right side and click sign in. Now, if you are not familiar with this website, of course, you don't have an account. So the first thing you need to do is register. Now, let me mention as well that besides this website, you're going to need some ways of communication. So you can use the phone, but if your students are, used to seeing your face, you can choose Skype or Google Hangouts or maybe Zoom. There's so many ways out there with which you can communicate that I'm sure you'll be able to find one. Now, teaching on this website might be a little bit tricky, although I don't think it is, but just for those of you who might not be familiar, I thought I would share it. So let's create a username. And for the purpose of keeping the identities of my private students, hidden, I don't think I should be sharing my data that I currently have. I'm going to go step by step with you and create a new account. And so let's just name it Sabina Feuscher. Let's hope nobody else has this account. We'll select the password. And now let's put a new email that I actually created. So you guys could email me here, but I don't promise that I will actually check it. I had to create it for the purpose of making this video. And now you have to read the agreements. So you have to agree with everything they're asking you, and then you can click register. Yay! They sent me an email to activate the account. All right, so I am on my website. We are back, and I got the email confirmation. I'm going to click on the website, so you have to go on your email as well, and make sure you click on the link, and now your Lichess is active and you've created the account. Yay! Congratulations! Now, let us figure out what to do next. So here's your login, and just for the purpose of, just making sure we can sign in and out, just let's sign out and sign back in to make sure that we haven't forgotten what our username is and our password. Sign in. Yay, and there we have it. And if you want your internet browser to save your username and password, just in case you're the type of person that often forgets, well, you can do so. You saw I had the invitation here. All right, so now that we've created the account, what to do next? Well, you have to go to Learn and Study. This is basically what you are going to do in order to be able to create a study that you're going to share with your students. And as you can see, some people actually have shared a lot of studies here that are free for everyone to use. For example, you can just click on any study that's there, and then you can go through the lines that they've added. You can see some of them have members, others do not. It's totally up to you if you want to browse through some people's studies, but typically I would recommend when you create a study with your student, you should make it private because, well, you wouldn't want people to find out what you're teaching them, especially if, you might have some other students who are, friends with each other, and, you might not want to share all that information for everyone to see. So what we're going to do, we're going to go here on the screen button and we're going to click on Create Study. So we're going to name it something. So let's just say Sabina's Tactics. All right. So this is Sabina is my name. Obviously, you're not going to put your own name. You're going to put your student's name. You're going to name it whatever you want. Maybe you want to teach end games. Maybe you just want to show games. Whatever you want, just name it the way it's going to be the easiest for you to remember. And then for visibility, I would highly recommend to make it invite only. That way, you are the only one who gets to invite the people that you think should be seeing this specific study. Then this part regarding allowing the cloning. So what this basically does is it's telling you whether you allow someone to just copy this exact study and then be able to share it further with other people. Personally, I'm not allowing people to share my studies, although I'm not, creating I'm not creating specific positions myself. I'm using them from games, but it's my own content, so I prefer to keep it to myself and just share it to specific students, and then if they want to use it later, they can utilize it. They can just create it themselves. So computer analysis. Now it is up to you as a teacher whether you want to have access to computer analysis, whether you want your student to have access to computer analysis or not. Personally, I'm not giving access to anyone. Sometimes I'm giving access to myself. You can also just click contributors would have access to computer analysis, and then you would click here on this is regarding Opening Explorer. Now this is something good to have. I'm going to leave it here so that you see what it is. If you don't want your students to have access, you just click nobody or only me. That way you're the only one who has access to Opening Explorer. And then chat, you can leave it that way, and this is very important that you let it synced. And then I've never done this actually to pin a study comment. I've never clicked on this one. I usually leave it that way, but it's totally up to you if you want to make changes. As you will browse through this website and go through things, create a few of these studies, you will become more familiar with it. You will know what exactly you want to have, what you don't. So let's get started. And now, you get the study created, and you need to name your first chapter. Now I'm just going to leave it for the moment, let's just put game 1 or something. And then you can choose the orientation if you want to have white or black. Let's leave white for now. And then create the chapter. So now you've created game 1. And as you can see, the two really cool settings that you have over here is that you can access Stockfish if you want. This is something that your opponent will have visible if you give them permission. Not your opponent, sorry, your student will have active as well. So you have it over there, right? So you can turn it off and on, up to you. By the way, if you turn it off and you gave access to your student, they actually still have it on. They have to turn it off themselves. So you have to think very well before you give them access to Stockfish. Depending on the level of the student, I would not recommend giving them access. The good thing that they have, and if you're going to teach them openings and you want them to go over something, you have this Opening Explorer and Table Base, which is amazing if you're going to teach them some openings and you want them to look through this and find additional games that were played. So you can just click on this and it gives you a pretty big database of a lot of the games that were played. It's pretty well updated, I think. And you can also just search. The cool thing about this is that sometimes if you click here on settings, you can actually search games that were played on Lichess, and you can select, you know, the average rating where this was played. You can select a lot of things. But let's just do the basics to make sure you are ready to teach your student. So, all right. So we'll just make some moves. Anyways, so you've made some moves and you start explaining them. Now, if you want to create arrows, that's going to be kind of simple. So it's going to be a mix between Shift, Alt, and Control. So if you click Shift on your keyboard and then you draw, you can draw an arrow. It can be green. If you use your right click of your mouse, the right part, is going to make it red. If you click Shift and Alt, it's going to make it blue. And if you use the other side, it's going to make it orange. And I forgot the other one, what it was. I'm always confusing them. There's one that makes them green. All right, so if you just click Shift, it's going to make it green and red. And then, all right, you have plenty of colored arrows. That's enough. You have to play with them a little bit. I always get them confused, but my students love the different colors, so I get by with it easily. If you want to highlight a specific square, then once again, you just click the Shift or the Alt or the two combined, and then you can highlight one square and discuss what exactly you want to discuss. So I think that's an easy part. Now, say you have a PGN file that you want to upload. You're going to click here, Add New Chapter. You're going to go on the PGN, and you're going to paste the PGN game that you have over here, and it's then create chapter, and it's going to automatically add it here. Now, at this point, I don't have a PGN game right now, but this should be really easy. Just copy the entire PGN and paste it here, and you'll have it. Something else you can do is also add a fan. If you have the fan of a game or of a position, you can just delete this, paste it here, click Create New Chapter, and it's going to create a new chapter for you. Now, how are your students going to be able to see this? Well, if you don't want them to have a share screen, to share your screen so that they see what you have, of course, you might not want them to have access to Stockfish or anything else, then you're going to go here to Member, and you're going to add members, all right? So I'm going to add my fiance here to the study. Elshan, I hope I can find him. All right. It should be GM Elshan. Let's see why it's not finding him. That's strange. Maybe he's 85. Maybe his name is Elshan 85. That's not him. Maybe 1985? Yes, I found him. All right, I'm sorry. I should have known this. All right, so say say Elshan is my student. I'm going to add him, then close. So your student is added to the study. Now, they have visibility to everything, but they are not able to make any changes. So in order for them to make changes, you need to make sure you do the following thing. You're clicking here on settings, and you have to make them a contributor. Now that you've made them a contributor, they're going to be able to make moves. So as I make a move, they can respond with the move that they want. And if at some point you think, he's my fiance, so, I can just suddenly decide I don't want him to be part of my study, I can just kick him out and he's away. Please don't do that, guys, okay? If you're teachers or coaches, no matter what your relationship is with your students, please don't kick your students out of a study. They paid for the time for you to teach them, and even if you're using your material and everything, it's something that is going to help them improve. And I think as a teacher or as a coach, you really should want your students to improve. So don't take, information from them. Keep them to the study. That was just like a joke that I made. So Elshan for Elshan. All right, so I'm adding Elshan back again, and I'm making him a contributor. All right. So this is my study I've created. I have game 1. I can add, for example, a position if I want. You can click editor, you can clear board, and you can just input some kind of end game. And I'm going to make a video with some simple end games. So this is an end game that I'll put. And then if I want white to play, or I can select black to play. If it's a position where, people still can castle or cannot, you can just click them and then click create, and you've got your new chapter. And you can always change a few things every time you click on the settings button. Here you can change the name to whatever you think is should be, and then you can change the orientation. So if I want a black orientation, the computer is going to flip the board for me, so I'm able to see it from black's perspective. Okay, so my student Elshan is going to be able to have access to everything I've taught so far, and is going to be able to make moves, make changes, add things. You can use here to type things. What is the result of this position? So if you want to add some more positions for your students to be able to solve, you just add as many chapters as you want over here with the editor, with the fan, or with the PGN, whichever is easier for you to add it there. So it's just kind of amazing. Now, the downside to this is just a tiny little thing, is that you can only add up to 64 chapters. So you can add up to 64 positions or games over in this study. Once you've reached 64, the study, you cannot add more. You still have it there, it never goes away, just you cannot add more positions. So now let's go back to figure out how we get back here. So you're gonna go to Learn, Study, and now you will see on your left side, my private studies, studies I contribute to, my studies. So I've created one study. Remember, it was called Tactics Sabina. Now, this is for my private studies. I can have access to public studies, but I haven't saved anything so as public, so I don't see anything here. Your students, you have to tell them specifically. When you invite them to the study, this red bell, they're going to have a notification over here. They need to click on that, and the notification will pop up. Once that notification pops up, they need to click on it, and they will go directly to the study that you have created. They will automatically land over here. They can change whichever position they want. They can kind of play around, but okay. Hopefully you have some good understanding with them and they will not just mess up. They will stay very well paying attention to the class. Now, these check marks here are very important. Sync and record. You need to make sure these check marks are always there. Don't ever do this. If you do this, nothing that you saved is going to be saved. For example, look at that. I'm making some moves, right? And it's not synced and it's not saved, which means your student is not able to see these moves you've made, and it's also not recorded. So if I go to chapter 2 and then I go back here, as you can see, those things don't pop here. So you need to make sure you're always synced and you're always recording so that any kind of situation is going to be able to be met right. So now when we edit, go to chapter 2, back to chapter here, you still have it, right? Say you want to promote a variation, right click, promote it. You have the ability to put annotations, you can make comments, you can share this entire study, you can click on share, you go, you want to share the study, you want to share the chapter, you're able to do so whatever you want. So I think this is really, really important. Now, I'm going to pause the video one more time because I want to show you exactly what happens with the notifications so that you are able to explain your students exactly what they need to know. Just give me a moment. Hey guys, we're back and I was able to add a notification. Yay! So this is what your students will see when you invite them to the study. They have to have the study they have to have the account created, and now we're going to click on the notification. As you can see, Sabina89 invited you to my YouTube videos. What? Now you can figure out the account that I use. No worries, I don't play there, so you can't spy on me. I only use it for teaching. So we click on that, and then, ooh, what is happening here? So I've basically used this to create my YouTube videos for teaching endgames for beginners. So as you can see, Sabina89 has created the study. I am the one, I am the invited to it. And I was made a contributor, so actually if I would make a move, she's going to be able to see it in her account. Well, basically me. So this is the cool thing about the situation. Be careful, your students might click this button by mistake. If they leave the study, you don't see them there as a member, you have to invite them again. They might have left by mistake. It's very easy to click on that if you're not careful. But anyway, so I have basically access to any one of these. If I choose to just make a move, you know, let's just make like a horrible move so that Sabina will see it later, right? King f5. She's actually going to be able to see her in her account because, you know, this is technically me as the student. This is what I see. You notice I don't have access to the stockfish. I don't have access to the table base or the opening explorer. Of course, if we are dealing with endgames, we don't care about opening explorer, but table base and opening explorer have the same icon, and I don't have it here. So she hasn't given me permission for that. She kept it for herself. How dare she? Anyways, there it is. So you guys as teachers can choose what you want to do, what permissions you want to give to your students. Lichess has this new feature that I've never tried, but they have here, you know, they have a chat room and they have a phone. So if you actually click on those, there's a possibility to talk. I haven't really inspected it because I kind of got used to use another talking fashion, but you guys are more welcome to do that. Last thing that I want to say, for your students, in order to be able to get to this study. So for me, right? So let's just say I'm going to study and I'm going to my own study. I only see this one, right? Sabina's Tactics. This is the one that I created. See, I have access to my stockfish. I have access to games. I can just choose whatever I want. And then I can just choose a Carlsen game. I'm going to insert it and it's going to be added here. I can just play through it. Right, look at what's happening, and I can either keep this openings explorer here to guide myself, what is the best played line, where do I have more games, or I can just get rid of it and just describe whatever I want to. But if I want to go back to that study, now you still see it here, but very soon these notifications are going to disappear. So you have to know how to guide your students to get back to the work you did together. For them, they need to go to Learn, Study, Studies I Contribute to. So they click on that, My YouTube Videos. Remember, that's the one that Sabina 89 has invited me to. So I click on that, and now I'm here. So say I have a homework, I need to solve this, I need to put the correct solution, right? I have to put this, and say you're teaching a beginner, you want to teach them how to mate with the queen. You're going to explain to them how to mate with the queen, right? Or you will just give them a random position to practice. They'll input all the moves. Not to be worried, okay? As long as the sync and record are on, your students are going to be able to save everything. It's automatically saved. They don't need to do anything special. It is saved, guys. And you as a coach, you can just log in and check what they did, okay? They cannot trick you that, oh, I put it there, but it's not there, it must have disappeared. No, they cannot do that. You need to make sure they have the check and record on, and all is done already. I really hope this video was helpful for those of you who are teachers and coaches and might be in a difficult time right now, not being able to meet with your students one-on-one, face-to-face. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. It was not a sponsored video, guys. I just really enjoy Lichess. If you guys enjoy them as well, please make sure to make a donation, and stay safe out there. I'll see you guys later. Bye.